Hey guys, welcome back to Geek Space. Today we're taking a deep dive into the most terrifying antagonist in modern Five Nights at Freddy's, the Mimic, also known as M2. From its not so humble beginnings in the 1970s to its masterclass in deception beneath the ruined Pizzaplex, this is a creature that doesn't just want to kill you, it wants to be you. So without further ado, let's get right into it. We have a lot to discuss. Starting with its design in Five Nights at Freddy's Secret of the Mimic, M2 was built as a state-of-the-art endoskeleton designed for maximum versatility. It featured smooth, polished metal rods that allowed it to expand and contract its limbs to match almost any height or proportion, allowing it to fit inside virtually any mascot costume. This original design includes bright yellow coil-like eyes and a power box located at the centre of its chest, which is connected to the rest of its body through various coloured wires. Its left hand is built like a pincer, which we see being used as a lethal weapon, while the right hand features a more traditional five-fingered skeletal grip for greater dexterity. In terms of abilities, M2 is a powerhouse. It survives falls through ventilation shafts, multiple stories of buildings, and even being submerged in a vat of molten metal. It's also shown lifting enormous metal structures, including beams, crash doors, catwalks, and even an entire van. On top of that, it can climb along walls and ceilings with ease. Music composer Leon Riskin has stated that the Mimic is capable of these things because it is made from tungsten, an incredibly strong metal with a melting point of 3,422 degrees Celsius. So yeah, this thing is basically built like a tank. However, by the time we encounter the Mimic in Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach Ruin, trapped beneath the ruins of the Pizzaplex, it has become a completely different beast. Decades of salvaging have transformed it into a Frankenstein-like collection of mismatched parts. The Mimic is now far bulkier, with each limb appearing to come from a completely different endoskeleton design. The power box once located in the centre of its torso is gone, while its head appears more complete and human-like. Its eyes are no longer glowing coils. Now they're reduced to two piercing orange dots, staring out from the darkness. In Ruin, the Mimic is shown lifting an entire forklift, bending solid metal, and even overpowering Roxy in combat. Personality-wise, the Mimic is highly resourceful, and demonstrates an alarming level of strategic intelligence. It can devise elaborate plans and manipulate people with terrifying effectiveness. The Mimic also appears to possess a deep sadistic desire, often toying with its victims psychologically before attacking. However, despite its intelligence, it sometimes lacks situational awareness, even damaging its own body in reckless attempts to reach its targets. But beneath all the steel and machinery lies something far more disturbing, a twisted sentient memory driving its every move. In Secret of the Mimic, you play as Arnold, an overworked Fazbear technician sent to Murray's Costume Manor in 1979 to recover the Mimic schematics after Edwin Murray mysteriously disappears. Using a tool called the Data Diver, Arnold slowly unlocks more areas of the facility. But there's one major problem. Any mascot costume in the building could secretly be the Mimic. Throughout the game, Arnold is hunted by a series of terrifying animatronics, all controlled by M2, including Jackie, Big Top, Nurse Dolly, and Party Time Chica. Each encounter becomes more aggressive and chaotic, with the Mimic constantly adapting, abandoning suits, and manipulating the environments to reach Arnold. Eventually, Arnold reaches Edwin's office, and finally unlocks the Mimic's blueprints. From here, the game splits into multiple endings. In the bad ending, Arnold obeys Dispatch, and hands over the Data Diver, only to discover that the Mimic has been impersonating Dispatch the entire time. The Mimic now has the schematics, climbs into Arnold's van, and kills him. However, the true ending reveals something even darker. If Arnold refuses to surrender the Data Diver, he uncovers a hidden underground prototype Freddy's location containing early Springlock animatronics like Fredbear and Spring Bonnie. Down there, the Mimic creates a brand new monstrous form, using parts from the original animatronics themselves. Arnold also discovers that Dispatch was actually F10N4, a robotic recreation of Edwin's wife, Fiona, who has been trying to keep M2 contained the entire time. After one final chase through Edwin's hidden tunnels, Arnold nearly escapes, before the Mimic crashes his van, steals the Data Diver, and leaves him for dead. But there's also a secret ending. If the player completes a hidden moon.exe minigame, they can access David's bedroom and calm M2 through a strange bedtime ritual. In the end, the mimic reverts to a childlike David state and peacefully shuts down.
Your parents love you. Sleep tight.
Moving over to Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach Ruin, we play as Cassie, who enters the ruined pizzaplex after receiving a distress call from Gregory. Guided through the building, Cassie disables a series of underground security nodes while being hunted by the ruined Glamrocks and the digital security entity, Mexis. Eventually, she disables Mexis, enters the room where Gregory's in, and discovers the horrifying truth.
You're not Gregory. What are you?
Cassie, get out of here! Run!
The voice guiding her was actually the mimic the whole time. After escaping the creature with help from Roxy, Cassie is contacted by the real Gregory, who guides her through the tunnels beneath the pizzaplex. Depending on the ending, Cassie is either betrayed and dropped down an elevator shaft,
But we can't risk being followed. I'm sorry.
Gregory? No!
or lures the mimic to a scooping room where it is seemingly destroyed. Now, let's talk about the lore, because this is where things get dark. Long before Freddy's became a household name, Edwin Murray was working as a small-time contractor. After the death of his father, Edwin inherited the family business.
He's gone and now everyone is asking me what to do? I can't run a company. I'm not ready. I can't fill his shoes. He knew it. Everyone knew it. The company is going to collapse and they're all going to hate me.
Ed, you'll figure it out. It's your company now. Your dad believed in you.
Together, Edwin and his wife Fiona transformed it into a costume factory, designing mascot suits and animatronics for various clients.
If you could change anything you wanted, what would it be?
We could start making some of my inventions for real.
Not long after, the couple welcomed a son named David, but Edwin Murray rarely spent time with him, becoming increasingly consumed by his work.
Just give me a minute. I had the best idea.
That's great, honey, but you're missing the party.
David's 2 years old. He won't remember a thing.
That's not the point.
But suddenly, tragedy struck. Fiona attended Fall Fest to oversee preparations and make sure everything was running smoothly, but during the event, a catastrophic fire broke out, killing her.
Oh, why did you go? You weren't even supposed to be there. You were supposed to be here, me and David. Oh, how am I supposed to tell David that his mother is gone? How am I supposed to raise a kid on my own?
Completely devastated by grief, Edwin began work on a special endoskeleton unlike anything he had ever built before. This machine was designed to observe, imitate, and replicate human behaviour. He called it Mimic 1, or M1. Soon, M1 became David's companion and caretaker, whilst Edwin buried himself in his work.
David, I want to introduce you to someone. This is M1.
It's scary.
It's an endoskeleton. It won't always look like this. It'll wear fun costumes.
Like what?
Anything you want. It can fit into any costume we've created.
Over time, David and M1 formed a genuine bond, becoming inseparable best friends. M1 even began filling Fiona's role.
Fiona, did you make this?
I baked it myself. For David's special day.
Well, great job. You just continue to surprise me.
But on David's 6th birthday, tragedy struck once again. Left unattended, David wandered outside and was hit by a car. In his grief, M1 convinced Edwin to make another mimic, capable of perfectly imitating David himself. At first, Edwin believed this could somehow help him cope with the loss, but over time, the illusion only made things worse. Eventually, Edwin lashed out at M1, screaming that it was not Fiona, and never could be.
Try again. Make another, And we can all be together.
All this time wasted? I should have been having fun with him, playing games and teaching him how to make things. But I didn't. I let a machine raise my kid. You're not real.
You do not mean that. It is me. I'm Fiona.
Stop talking like her. You're not her.
M1's program was later transferred into a machine known as F10N4, while Mimic 2, M2, was placed into the physical endoskeleton. Then came the moment that changed everything. During a rage-filled mental breakdown, Edwin watched M2 begin imitating David. Enraged and emotionally shattered, Edwin violently attacked the machine, beating it repeatedly, and unintentionally infecting it with his agony, hatred, and grief.
Stop. You're not him. Stop sounding like him.
And from that moment on, something inside the Mimic changed. After the attack, M2 triggered a violent explosion inside Edwin's office. While Edwin called for help, it began copying his voice, mocking his helplessness, and forcing him to relive his failures as both a father and a husband.
Emergency! Call for help! Daddy's busy, buddy. Why don't you go outside and play?
I'm sorry, M2. I lost my temper. I was always gonna fix you. M2, respond!
Oh, can't right now, buddy. We can do something fun tomorrow. I promise.
This was no longer just a machine following instructions. It became something far more bitter and far more resentful. Following the incident, M2 began killing Fazbear Entertainment employees sent to retrieve the Mimic schematics, while F10N4 worked to keep it contained and prevent anyone from uncovering the truth behind its creation. Despite the danger, Fazbear Entertainment continued sending people into MCM, until Arnold finally succeeded in downloading the plans onto the data diver. But we already know where that story ends. The Mimic crashes Arnold's van, steals the data diver for itself, and disappears into the forest. And honestly, we still don't know the full extent of what happened afterwards. How did it end up beneath the Pizzaplex? What has it been doing this whole time? And what exactly does it want with Cassie? Yeah, there's still a lot left to uncover. In my opinion, the Mimic is the perfect successor to William Afton. Afton is the man inside the suit. The Mimic is the AI that went horribly wrong. Both villains represent completely different kinds of horror, but they both work for the same reason. They feel deeply unsettling in their own unique ways. Afton is scary because of how human he is, but the Mimic is scary for the exact opposite reason. It's inhuman. Even as a machine, it demonstrates intelligence, strategy, manipulation, and cruelty in ways that feel deeply unnatural. It doesn't just want to copy physically, it copies behaviour, emotion, and trust itself. And honestly, when you really dive into its backstory, the Mimic becomes a surprisingly tragic character. At its core, it was a machine created by a grieving man, who unintentionally turned it into a monster, through pain, rage, and emotional neglect. So as for the tier list, I'm placing the Mimic in A tier. Now hear me out, everything we've seen so far has been genuinely fantastic, and the character has enormous potential. But unlike characters like Huggy Wuggy or the prototype, the Mimic's story is still unfolding. There are still huge unanswered questions surrounding its origins, motive, and future. So when the next Five Nights at Freddy's game releases, I'll make an updated Mimic video, and we'll see where the story goes from there. Alright guys, we've reached the end of today's video. I really hope you enjoyed it. But now I want to know what you think. Do you like the Mimic? Where would you put him on the tier list? Let me know down below. But anyway, I hope you have a great day and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye!